somebody joining us who is pro-Biden and thinks that he won last night. It's the TikToker Harry Sisson. Harry, you think Biden won last night?
One person.
Yeah, no, I did, definitely. On the substance of the conversation, Biden won. His policy was pragmatic, it was logical, and Donald Trump just lied the entire time. Is incapable of telling the truth, is incapable of actually laying out policy. He didn't talk about how he's going to make the American people's lives better. He just, said that, January 6th didn't happen. He talked about the election. He said that overturning Roe is a great thing and forcing 10-year-old girls to give birth is a fantastic thing. That was Donald Trump's debate. So on the substance of the conversation, Joe Biden absolutely prevailed.
Right, but the problem you've got is I saw the CNN fact checkers on Joe Biden's public statements last night, and it was just untruth after untruth after untruth.
Oh, I'm not sitting here telling you that Joe Biden tells the truth every single time he speaks, or that he gets every single number right and every single statistic right.
He gets most of them wrong.
That's not true. To compare Joe Biden's lies to Donald Trump's lies is laughable. Trump told over 30,000 lies during his presidency, averaging around 20 a day, and he showed that last night when he lied about every single thing he talked about. Lying doesn't win debates.
Yeah, but the problem is, if you're going to use lying or misleading the public with statements against a candidate, you've got to make sure your own candidate speaks with unforked tongue. I mean, Biden, barely a week goes by without him saying something which is immediately proven to be untrue. I mean, only like 2 weeks ago, he was claiming that his uncle was shot down and eaten by cannibals. None of that ever happened. He wasn't shot down and he wasn't eaten by cannibals. I mean, I just think that this idea that Trump's the only one whose statements can't be trusted is just not true. Last night, again and again, listen, I'm not denying that Trump made a series of untrue statements. He does that. He barrels through and hopes that the big messages about the border and so on kick home, and they probably do, actually, with many Americans. But if Biden's going to play the lying card as a pro-Biden thing against Trump, he's got to tell the truth and get his numbers right. He can't then have a fact check from CNN, which was painful to watch last night. It went on and on and on. Almost every statistic he came out with was completely wrong.
Yeah, but Pierce, I mean, let's be real here. Like, if you're lying,
did you see the one where he said
one sec, Vinny, you look like a. Relax, buddy. If you're getting a number incorrect, you're getting a number incorrect. That's like a very
so 7 years ago. 7
hold
years
on now, I'm not done yet. I'm not done yet. Excuse me, you right there.
Were you 10 years old, Harry?
What was that?
How old were you when Trump won? 10 years old? 7 years ago, you were 10 years old.
You look like you're about to explode.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Take a breather.
That's not
relevant.
Hassan
was right to call.
You have makeup.
He's entitled to his opinion.
Listen, I know Hassan's a big fan of mine. He was right to call you out for looking like you're about to explode. It's okay, no problem here.
Yeah, you were 10 years old when Trump won.
You have to level.
Get him, Harry.
And what are you, like 80? Like, relax, buddy. Take a breather. You're okay, I promise. It's okay.
Ooh, that was so good.
Zen, yoga. Yoga's good. Yoga's good.
Can I just say, it doesn't. I don't actually care how old either of you are. Let's get back to the real reality, which is I care about the age of the president because he looks like.
I'm sorry. I like this kid. I'm sorry. We have been teaching people how to grow online. It's been absolutely amazing. We have 3 people who have been able to reach monetization in less than 30 days. Growing YouTube channels, some from 0 people. We have one guy who had 2 subscribers before he started working with me. He started helping him. His views went up 4.8 million%. We're super excited. If anybody ever want to grow on YouTube, you reach out to me with the word coach. I mean, I don't like the fact that he's lost. He's lost and he's so used to everybody getting what they want from the Democratic Party because he don't realize that the pander is strong. He don't get that part. And who told the most untruths last night to me was not the most important. What was most important is that Joe Biden is by far a worse president than Trump was. By far. And the evidence is the proof is in the pudding. If you look at this country, it's still a great country. By far is a phenomenal country, especially when you compare it to other countries. But you don't even have to do that when you talk about how good America is. You ain't got to do that. But this youngin' is lost, man. He's the new age people. Like, everybody gets a participation trophy. Everybody is coddled. Everybody get what they want. And everybody become weaker because of it. And so does the nation. He don't know that yet. Wisdom will teach him that. Life and experience will teach him that. He don't know anything. And his parents are more than likely heavy liberals. Like they probably just liberal. You know what I mean? Let's do something for the blacks, the poor blacks. The poor blacks need us. You know, that's where he is right now. So I understand him, but how he's not backing down to Vinny, I love it. I love that. I mean, this kid, he can go to battle with me. You know what I mean? As long as he's gonna grow up one day and he's gonna realize that what he's his ideology is just piss poor. But right now, we were kids before. And when we were kids, we were more liberal than we are right now. Just think about it. We were far more liberal than we are right now. So when he grows up, he'll be all right.
It's like he's 180. So, Harry, I'm just bemused. Because 33% of people watching it apparently think Biden won. I don't know. Harry, hang on. Harry, I don't know how anybody honestly can watch that debate and honestly conclude that Biden won. You'd have to be so deeply embedded in the Democrat partisan tank that you can't crawl out long enough to see the wood for the trees.
So first thing, I want to respond to your lie comment. I think that, yeah, we want both candidates to be honest, but we have to weigh the lies here. Like if Joe Biden gets a statistic incorrect, that is vastly different than Donald Trump still pushing lies about January 6th and about the election. So that's first and foremost. But second of all, as I said, the substance of the conversation is what matters. Trump can scream the loudest, he can lie the most. That doesn't mean you win a debate. When Joe Biden's up there saying, like, you know what, my policy is pragmatic. I want to give women their reproductive rights. I want to continue to lower healthcare costs. I want to expand healthcare for veterans more and more. That's pragmatic policy. That's logical.
But Harry, the problem. Okay, but Harry, here's the problem.
Substance.
Harry, here's the problem. He couldn't articulate his views in a way that anyone could really understand. And secondly, and more crucially, in Trump, he has an opponent who tells a lot of untruths. And what you want the president of the United States to do is to be quick-witted enough and sharp enough and intelligent enough to, every time he does that, leap on it and tell the American people why what he said was untrue. Biden was simply incapable of doing any of that. And that's what a lot of Democrats have said overnight is the most problematic thing. It's not that he's old or anything. It's that he was incapable of either articulating policy in a way that resonated or holding Trump to account. And if you can't do that with a candidate like Trump, there's no hope.
If I were Trump, anytime somebody want to bring up Jan 6, I would want to discuss Black Lives Matter. I would want to discuss all of the many protests that you guys did nothing about. As a matter of fact, you encouraged it, where people's businesses were burnt down, when people were just running up in there, taking whatever they wanted, where people were being killed and beat up on the streets. Nobody wants to discuss that. But for some strange reason, every time it comes around to it, Jan 6, let's talk about Jan 6. All right? I'm not saying that wasn't a bad time for our country, because it was, especially with how they're looking at it and they're painting it and everything. And plus, I believe someone lost their life. But on Joe Biden's watch, there's been a lot of deaths. And we don't want to acknowledge that. We just want to talk about Jan 6. Why is that? They want you to look over there while they do whatever they want to do. And that right there, to me, is trash. There's a lot of people out there like myself who want to hear about where this country is going to go, how we're going to move forward, how we're going to get better in our economy, how we're going to, make sure that we are the strongest nation in the world. You know what I mean? How generations behind us will be taken care of. There are people out there that want to hear that. But no, they just only want to talk about convictions and Jan 6. This stuff does not matter. When you think about the future of our country, it don't matter. It's smoke and mirrors. It's something, it's I don't know, I can't think of the word, but it's just the propaganda that they're trying to play against the people that they know are not going to read for themselves, are not going to do any research, and they're trying to play on the emotions of the people that pads their pockets and vote for them and keep them in office. That's it. They're playing on their emotions. They're trying to make it seem like Jan 6 is the biggest, most worst thing. They actually said that Jan 6 is comparable to 9/11. And nobody called them out on that. I can't believe that any Democrat will stand next to them after they say something foolish like that. That's all I'm saying. So we can talk about semantics. We can talk about who's lying more. We can talk about this, that, and the third. But let's talk about the real issues. What's going to make us stronger and a better nation? Huh? What's going to bring us back to the America that other nations fear and wouldn't dare make a move while we are in command? That's what we need, in my opinion. But we still talking about the bull stuff, the bull sugar honey iced tea that don't matter. It don't move the needle at all. And that's what this kid don't understand. One day he'll figure it out with time, with experience, with wisdom. But somebody need to say that. Nobody on the panel is even saying it. They're just quiet.
Yeah, except Piers, if that was the method that Biden was.
Hang on a second. I'll come to you in one second. Let Harry respond to that.
Sorry.
Well, all right. What I was going to say is, if that's the method that Biden was going to go with, then all of his answers would just be fact checking Trump. Every 2 minutes he asks, he has to be like, okay, Trump lied about this, and that's not any way to win a voter over. Biden, I would think it's more of the moderator's job to fact check, as opposed to Biden dedicating his entire debate to fact checking. Biden should be laying out the policy, which he did. He seemed pretty coherent when he called out Donald Trump for assaulting and raping E. Jean Carroll. And
what
for being
did you think? Okay,
felon. People don't like to talk about
excruciating moment when Joe Biden basically froze and mumbled his words. It said complete gibberish, and then Donald Trump just said, "I don't think even he knows what he just said." Let's just watch this clip, and I'm going to ask you to explain to me what he said.
Dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if he doesn't care, he doesn't like the military at all, and he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA.
I mean, Harry, what was Biden saying there?
It's a very nice, selectively edited clip. I like it. Yeah, I don't think that every person ever is going to speak perfectly. So highlighting Biden not speaking perfectly.
No, but I watched the whole thing, Harry. I watched the whole thing.
The broader conversation.
I watched the whole 90 minutes. I don't come at this as on the left or right. I'm not a member of either party. I don't promote either party over the other. I simply come at it as a journalist. I didn't understand 90% of what Biden was saying. I did understand Trump, and I understood that he was misleading me a lot of the time, but also understood on the big picture messaging, which he kept ramming down the viewers' throats about the chaos at the border, the state of the economy, particularly on Black Americans and Latino Americans who are gravitating to Trump, and so on and so on. On those big picture messages, he was hitting home hard. I don't know what Biden's messages were. I don't know what he was talking about.
Ask the young man who's running the country if he's not able to communicate a sentence, if he's not able to move from point A to point B without any assistance, who's running the country? How is he communicating his desires and what needs to happen in this country? Who's controlling this place? I bet this young man don't know, and he probably don't even care.
Piers, did you not understand President Biden when he talked about how the PACT Act now has 1 million people signing up for it?
No, not really.
Did you not understand him?
I didn't know.
Did you not understand him when he talked about the largest investment in fighting climate change in world history?
No, because he spoke in a weird... Look, I'd understood it. If you had basically translated him in real time, I'd have understood it. If Gavin Newsom had done the translation for us and articulated what Biden was trying to say, I'd have understood it. But Biden spoke for 90 minutes in a croaky, monotone, drone-like manner that honestly, for most average viewers watching, was utterly incomprehensible. And the problem he's got is that Trump sounded and looked exactly like he did in 2020 and 2016, like he's always done.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, he did.
He did not sound exactly like he did in 2020.
I promise you, go back and watch Trump in 2016. Go back and watch Trump in 2016.
Incorrect.
Compared to last night, it's the same guy. You may not like him, but he's an embellisher, and he'll tell lies, but he'll ram home the messages. And one of his trump cards, literally, is that he can hit home messaging in a way that resonates with people at home.
Yeah, it's certainly not the same guy when the Trump in 2024. The Trump in 2024 is talking about boats sinking and like sharks and batteries and all that stuff, and he's telling these insane lies about the election. I mean, in 2020 he was claiming that China was bringing in bamboo ballots. I mean, this is like your crazy uncle at Thanksgiving who's screaming in the corner. This is not a presidential candidate. This is a dude who just rambles incoherently on the debate stage, as he did last night.
And do you believe, Harry, finally, do you believe in your heart that Joe Biden is the right person to lead the Democrats into the election in November? And do you believe he can win?
He can win. He's going to win. And as Vice President Harris said, we don't let a 90-minute performance negate 3.5 years of progress. Biden's the only man who has beaten Donald Trump, and he's going to do it again. And I'm looking forward to convicted felon Donald Trump facing justice.
Obviously, he's intelligent, but he's dumb as hell. And that comes from maturity. He's not very mature. He's like your children. Think about your children right now. Just think about your children. I'm sure most of you who are watching this have children who are extremely intelligent, but they dumb as hell. Think about it. This is this kid. This is him. This is him. He's an extremely intelligent, dumb as hell child. Don't understand anything about life. Don't understand anything about the world, but believe that he knows it all. And he's looking at how many of you would let Joe Biden watch your toddler ride a bike in the front yard, or just watch your toddler or watch your child jump on the trampoline, and he has to be the one to watch out for them? You won't. You won't let him drive your car. You won't let him drive the family in the car at all. You won't let him make any decisions. You won't let him cook a meal unsupervised. You won't let Biden cook a meal unsupervised. He will burn the damn house down. He will burn himself up. But yet, we want him to run the country? It makes absolutely no sense. This young man is lost in the sauce. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. And he does have he's very intellectual. But when it comes to the country and what the country needs, he don't know yet. Give him like 20 years. He might know. But right now, he's lost.